discussion, I guess. I want to preface this by saying I'm not too much into fighters. Like I like fighters, but I'm not a pro. You know, I'm not someone who watches the pro scene or the tournaments or anything. I just like fighting games. I like, you know, I like fight scenes and movies and action scenes and stuff. And I appreciate fighting for what it is, you know, as a sport and everything. Also what it can do and how good people can get in it. And you know, I just like fighting games, but I have fallen off of fighting games for a while now because I'm just not into the 2D, you know, the 2D plane fighters like Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter. I like the 3D ones more, Tekken, Soul Calibur, but they still haven't done it for me enough for me to really love a fighting game. And I know there's other fighting games too, like, you know, Smash Bros, Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom, things like that, Mutant Academy. I like those games, but they're too combo heavy. They don't feel like much of a fight to me, and that's not to me hate on anyone who's, like, you know, a pro player in tournaments or whatever. But to me, just watching those fights, they're not fights. It's just two people, you know, having this mind game of who can maximize their combos and get it out, and it's more of a timing thing than an actual fight to me. To me, because fighting, like, you know, when you get into a fight, you get knocked the first time. You're you know, like, your plan of how this fight is gonna go is halfway out the window. So that, unless you're like a really fucking experienced fighter and you can really keep your head. But anyways, that's a whole nother story. And I'm not saying I'm a great fighter either. So, For Honor. Why am I reviewing and discussing For Honor? Because it's the only fighting game right now that I have really enjoyed. Most fighting games, I play them, I like them. Injustice 2 and Injustice 1 and the Mortal Kombat, I've loved for the story. The story mode has been really good in those games. And the fact that they have gear and stuff, so, you know, you can customize your fighter a bit and stuff. That's all well and good. That's cool. That's great. But in terms of actual fighting and playing the games, I've just gotten kind of tired of them. And so I guess this is where I wanted to open For Honor. For Honor's fighting is very different. First of all, you're on a 3D plane. You're like, you know, you can walk around, you can run around, you can roll and stuff. Like, it is a 3D environment. You can be fighting someone and just be like, fuck this, and just roll away and start running away. You can do that in this game. What makes this game special is the fighting itself. To me, there isn't really a game that does fighting like this. So when you hold L2 to lock on, this is default controls, except for my dodge. My dodge is L1. When you lock on by holding L2, you basically get a stance: right stance, left stance, and high stance, or high stance, up stance, whatever. Up, left, right. And depending on your character, you'll have a bottom, middle, which, you know, guards in all directions. But this is your guarding. This is how you block. So as you can see, the bot right there, Ricky Raccoon, which I love the names they give the bots. She's guarding to her right, which is my left. So if I attack, she blocks it. If I attack right, it lands. Then if I switch, it blocks. So that's the back and forth. That's the basic back and forth of this game is blocking and attacking. You also have a guard break. So, you know, if they're turtling and you know, just constantly blocking, you can throw that in and throw that in to mix up some things and, you know, get some hits in. You still have sprint attacks. You can still sprint. You can still fight even not locked on. I'm just in training, so this is just to show you guys how the system works. You know, you have your combos and stuff. And enemy, you know, heroes have different attacks and movesets and everything, different specialties and whatever. But when you're actually fighting, you know, to me this feels like a fight. And yeah, it's you know, it's not the most realistic fight because, you know, I'm swinging a great sword and they won't die right away in one hit, but it's a fight. And, you know, this 3D movement, it's blocking, it's dodging, it's you know, reading your attacks, it's parrying, it also has that element of, you know, being a mind game on, you know, do I want to cancel, like, am I gonna do an overhead here? Okay, he did. Does he do it again? Oh, he will. Oh, third time? Oh no, he canceled it. So there's cancels, there's things you can do that really change the way the fights play out, and you know, can really let you play how you want to play depending on which hero you want to use. This is also a game where, like, you can't just pick one hero, and you can pick a hero and be amazing, but it'll benefit you way more to play the other heroes, or at least practice against them, to have an idea of how they fight, what their style is, what they do, what's their, you know, what's the trick up their sleeve and stuff. Because some heroes can do some crazy things and others can't. Like my Highlander has unblockables. I could keep doing it, but I have to go into offensive stance for that. I have to go into offensive stance, I have to hold the right trigger, which takes a bit of time. Or without finishing a chain, I hold the right trigger and he'll go into it after, you know, a hit. But this is why I like this fighting game, because it is not many fighting games out there make me feel like a fight. This is just a fight. Now, I will say this about the game, the balancing isn't the greatest, and I think that's one of the major reasons why this game has not really taken off. I think it's because of the balancing. But I'm not the best at fighting games and stuff, so I'm not going to touch on balancing. There's better people who can figure that stuff out. I can't. I don't know shit. I'm not someone who, you know, counts the frames on each move to figure out which is better. I'm not like that. I just fucking play the game. So for anyone like me who just wants to play a fighting game, I think this review would be for you. So this game also has a story mode. It's a pretty good story mode. It's a pretty good campaign. It has a decent amount. It has cutscenes. It has characters. It is decently long. It's not like the longest game in the world, but it's pretty long. It'll give you a couple hours of you know, just playing through a campaign, which is nice. It's good. You don't really see that in a lot of fighting games. Most fighting games, it's always just like, you know, this kind of arcade ladder type thing, where you fight each hero once, and then you get your you know, your 3-picture cutscene with a little voice acting. This is an actual campaign, which is cool, and the campaign has collectibles and little lore things, and you play as a decent amount of the default heroes, so it's cool. You have a training mode, training media, which shows you all, you know, videos over all the game modes, and also how to fight with each hero, what they do, what their special attacks are, you know, give you an idea of how they play before you buy them or anything. The faction more is it's just a metagame type thing. You know, when you get the game, you pick a side, knights, samurai, or Vikings, to choose which one you want to fight for. So as you play, you can send your troops in. I don't think I can see that here. Oh yeah, here. So see, like here, I can plant my banner somewhere, and that's where my troops will go. So here it's minus 195k, so we need around 200k to stop the samurai from taking that piece of territory. And the whole point of this is because certain pieces of territory give you more stuff. So like the mill here gives 5% XP per match. The castle gives 10% troops. So yeah, it's just a little metagame thing. It doesn't really affect stuff, but whoever's winning the most at the end of the season or the campaign, you can see end of campaign in the top right, 7 days. That will you get a little reward at the end, I believe, or whichever faction wins gets a little bit more steel or something like that. You also have daily contracts and orders, you know, to get steel. And for anyone that's asking, you know, what the fuck is steel? Steel is your I guess you can say premium currency in this game. because when it comes to the heroes, this game has been being supported quite a lot. It's been out for quite a long time. You know, when it came out, it didn't have a lot of heroes. It had 14 heroes, 15. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 8, 12. It had 12. Yeah, it had 12. The first 4 heroes, like these 4, in each faction, were the main heroes. That's all the game released with. And then they started adding, 3 at a time for each faction. And the Japanese faction is new, or Chinese faction. Sorry, I always get it mixed up. So, as you can see here, so these characters right here, the Chinese faction is brand new. They were just added in. You get them with the season pass when you get the expansion, the Marching Fire expansion, which is this. If it loads from here, doesn't look like it's gonna load from here. But, well, there it is right there. Marching Fire expansion. You see the 4 heroes. So you can get the pass, or the deluxe edition of the game, or whatever it is, to get the heroes. Or you can just play the game. Okay, that was weird. Or you can just play the game and get enough steel and unlock them yourself. So I have 17,000 steel. I can unlock one of these characters if I want, even if I don't have the year 3 pass. Or the deluxe edition, or whatever. Which is why I have Shaman, and Highlander, and Gladiator, and Centurion, and Vortiger, and the Monk. It's because I just played the game, got enough steel, and bought them. So even if you buy the base physical copy of this game, you can play this game and unlock all the characters if you want. Another thing why I like this game is because as you play, you get gear. And gear can, kind of affect... Well, not kind of. It does affect how your dude looks. Right? But it also affects the stats. So you can see here, next to my armor, I have these 2 red glowing symbols, which means they're going down. They're not going to be activated anymore. I see here they're white, which means they are activated. If I go in here, perk definition, shields up and bulk up. When gaining a renown level, which is as you're playing, you can level up 4 times, like within a match. Increases maximum health by 4. So that's cool. And shields up upon spawn or when revived, receive a plus 15 health shield. Highlander doesn't have that much health, so I tried to give him perks that gave him more health. The perks are activated because of the gear I have. You see Liberty Spike Arms at the bottom, says shields up 220 out of 260, bulk up 100 out of 120. So these things affect, how you're... Not how they play, but, a little advantage they have in 4v4 or any 4v4 mode. Because I know in duel and ranked modes, these perks are not activated. When you play in ranked or whatever, it's just your hero. The gear doesn't matter. They just look how they look, but the gear doesn't matter. So you have the gear that can change your hero up, and you kind of gotta work. You kind of have to think about what perks you want in 4v4. You have a decent amount of customization, with paints, outfits. You can see the ornaments on the top of his head that change. I have the antlers, but you can get a whole bunch of others. Reputation outfits for just how high you get with that certain hero. You can change the colors, when you're attacking or defending or neutral or whatever. Change how he looks, like the pattern. Go use you. It's like on my standards, which is my cape type thing, cloak, whatever. You can change the patterns, to really make it look how you want. It's actually pretty cool how that looks. Well. Your symbols, which is your emblems that you made, or other symbols they just have, or if you want the embossings, which you also unlock by playing, or playing in tournaments, or doing certain things in the campaign, and etc., etc. So there's customization in this game. There's definitely a decent amount, especially with the executions and stuff. I fucking love the executions in this game. They're amazing. They're all amazing. Like, I never get tired of watching the execution in this game. I don't know why. You know, it does have some gore. Not gore like, you know, cut open something, you know, like he's cutting open the stomach, but you don't actually see any intestines and stuff. You just see blood or a bit of decapitation. I do believe you can also turn that off in the options. Yeah, you know, you have executions, you have your emotes. You know, I want my Highlander to pretend he's golfing, you know, I can. I want to be a troll and tell everyone that they're salty, you know, they have a salty emote. Combat emotes, signatures for when your team wins or whatever, if you win. The effects, I like the effects. Just you know, another thing to add to your character. You know, while he's idle, I have the Tempest Call, executions, he does Tempest Call. Emotes, he does the Foragers, Dark Oath. So there's customization in this game. And if you get the game right now, like, there's a decent amount of heroes. Well, let's see, there's 6, 12, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, wait, what? 6, 12, 18, 19, 20, 24. There's 24. Yeah, they are also adding more. I think they're gonna add one more Viking here beside the Highlander, just like how the Sakura is here and the Blackbriar is here. I think they're gonna add one more for Viking and one more for the Chinese, and then that may be it. I don't know, but they're still supporting the game. There's still gonna be new heroes, and you can still buy them by just playing the game, which is cool, which is great, and they have events and stuff. I just signed in, and they have a double XP event going on right now for the weekend, which is cool. They also added in a breach mode not too long ago, and also when this game came out, it didn't have dedicated servers, so there was a lot of lag, and that just really killed the game, because it's a fighting game, and you can't have lag in a fighting game. But it was P2P, and it just shit the bed. But they put dedicated servers in now. It's been in here for a while. You still have... I don't really have connection issues with games or anything anymore. The only issue I will have is, you see at the top here, if I go to my profile... Oh no, here. At the right it says NAT type and connection quality. My NAT type is open. When I first got the game... Well, we got the game when it was free on Plus for a bit and whatever. Or not free on Plus, but they had a free weekend or whatever. I would come in here and it would say my NAT type is bad, even though, you know, any other fucking game, Battlefield, you know, anything, my NAT type is always type 2 and it's always open, and I've forwarded ports on my PC and stuff, and it was still red, and I looked up the right ports for Honor and I forwarded them, and then they were still red. And then the next day I opened my game and it turned green, so I don't understand that. You might have some problems with connections. Sorry, I just got a text. So, last thing well, not last thing, but another thing I'll touch on is the modes, the game mode. This is a fighter, this is a multiplayer game, so you have 4v4. Tribute is kind of sort of like captured flag, but there's like 3 flags, and you get one, you carry it to your place to get a buff. Deathmatch is deathmatch. Dominion is like domination in Call of Duty. You have A, B, C, you know, littered across the map. A is on your side, C is on the other side, B is in the middle, and you fight for them. You know, you fight for control over them. And when each team, like, you capture, actually I'll go in here and actually I'll do a custom match so someone doesn't just hear me talking a bunch of shit for some reason. I guess I can get into the graphics and stuff a bit for this game as well. So, and this is a startup screen, you know, you see your attackers, your defenders, what team you're on, you know, if they're bots or not. Bots do fill in for players that leave, you know, during the game or whatever, so has that at least. And the bots are no joke in this game. The level 3 bot in this game is pretty fucking serious. But anyways, moving on. So So you have all these things. A good fighter, at least by my standards. I know my standards aren't much because I'm not a pro fighter, you know, gamer fighter type dude. But as someone who's just love fighting games, I love watching fighting games and fights play out and stuff. This game does it for me. You have your cool little intro into every, you know, match. Team runs around. So this is what I mean when I say it's a whole map. Like, it is a whole map that you're on, that you can run around, you can choose where to go to, you know. In Dominion there are ads, so you can see them fighting at B right there. The ads are usually always at B. You know, that's like the little war part. So see these two guys fighting here. You know, I could go up and capture A, or I could, you know, help my bot friend right here. Like I said, the bots are no joke half the time. They do some shit like that. And revenge mode is to help you from getting ganked when you're getting a 2v1 or 2v2 or whatever. So it's and you know, as you can see with the graphics, as you can see with the graphics, it is a good-looking game. This has always been a good-looking game. I feel like the HUD is a bit too cluttered. Like they could really, like, you know, the Zone A boosted and the numbers up at the top right, and the player list at the top showing, you know, who's who and whatever. Oh, Jesus Christ. I can't fight this Tiandi at all, you know. Like, that stuff can be lowered a bit. Yes, you can knock people off of edges and stuff. You run out of stamina. Stamina is a thing. So this is what I mean by, I think it's a cool game. Uh-oh. There I go. So this is just a bot, and you know, I'm not the best at this game, but jeez.
You captured Zone C.
But as I said, bots can be bots can be hard, and like I said, balancing in this game isn't the greatest, because some heroes are better than others. But you know, generally, whatever hero you play, you can do pretty well. No matter what hero you play, you can pretty much do pretty well. There's only like one or two heroes that are really like one-trick ponies, and they're just bad. Not bad, but they're just like, once you come across someone who's like pretty good at the game, kind of knows all the heroes, you kind of don't really have anything to do against them, because they know the game, they know the hero, they know he's a one-trick pony, they know the only thing you can do. There's no room for really mixing it up and playing that mind game with them. But other than that, I love this game. So the graphics are great. I love the fighting. I love that it's an actual, you know, it feels like a battle. Jeez, man. Oh god. It's interesting. I haven't played in a while too. I've been playing, but I haven't really like practiced against the new heroes or anything to know what they really do. Jeez, I suck. So graphics are great. Sound is great. You know, they shout their words. They do their war cries and stuff. The ads have their sounds. The sword sounds are great. You know, the samurai's fighting compared to you know, my Highlander swinging his great sword and stuff. It all sounds really good. It looks good. I've never had a. I'm playing on a PS4 Pro. I used to play on a regular PS4. I don't think I've ever had a frame rate dip. Maybe I have, but I just didn't know. But I have literally never seen it. Never seen the frame rate drop. Which to me is really good. Like, you know, you can never be mad at that. I can't remember if this game has a pro mode. Does the game have a pro mode? I don't even know. I can't remember. Display? Oh, enhanced graphic mode. High detail, high resolution. Yeah, so it does. I use high detail, limits the resolution 1080p. I'm not on a 4K TV, so I don't use that.
You capture Zone A.
So Sum it up, the fighting, I don't think is the best, most balanced fighting in the world, but it is the most unique fighting I've seen in a fighting game for a really long time, and it keeps me very interested and entertained. Even if I get my ass kicked in this game, I can kind of usually tell why, and I know I pretty much deserve it every time because I suck at the game. But I don't get tired of it. I pretty much always have fun with this game, which is what I really enjoy. The graphics are great, the sound is great, the online connection can get a little worrisome sometimes. Oh jeez. The online connection can get a bit worrisome, but especially with dedicated servers and stuff now, I've never like been kicked out of a match or anything. The only thing is I see people leave matches sometimes, either because they quit or because they're inactive or, you know, whatever. But connectivity hasn't really been a problem. The only problem I have had connectivity with is inviting a friend to a party. Like a group, not a PS4 party, but like, you know, the in-game party, so you can play together. I have a problem with that sometimes. I haven't had that recently since my Minat became green, but just be wary of that. I know that's an issue that's been brought up, and I don't know if they fixed it or are trying to fix it or what. But I'm pretty sure it's an issue Ubisoft is aware of. So anyways, graphics great, sound great, fighting unique but not balanced as well, but you know, wonderful fighting system to me. It also has the funnest game modes to me. Like, you know, MK, you have pretty much any 2D fighter type game. You have your campaign mode, you have your arcade mode, which is sort of like campaign, like in terms of how you actually play and you know, get through the game. Campaign is generally the same as arcade, and it's just you know, just arcade, there's no cutscenes in between. It's just oh my god, what does that mean? The bots, like, man, they have some serious blocking skills, man. It's kind of nuts. Oh jeez, what the fuck. Anyways, so me and I'm playing a custom match, I suck. I mean, maybe because I'm talking to you. And also I suck. And also the bots are nuts. So who knows? I don't know what I'm saying. Anyways, this is what I mean when I say I'm not the best at the game, but you know, I still love this game. I do think if you have a bunch of friends and you guys just want to play a fighting game, and you know, your friendly competition, this can be like the best game for that. Cause really, you know, when you're fighting your friend in this game, you guys really feel like you're fighting. Not like, you know, you're not actually beating the shit out of your friend, but you know, it feels like a competitive fight, even though it's a video game. You know, your friend will know, ah shit, man, you fooled me there. You know, I thought you were gonna go for this overhead light attack, but you actually went for, you know, you canceled and faked me out, and you got the kill or whatever. It's nice. I love the game modes. I love Dominion. I know Dominion isn't always the most fair thing, but it's also different. Like, it's just different. There's just no fighting game I really know of that I can just do this. I can run around, I can kill ads, capture zones, and you know, while I'm doing this, you know, another player might run in, and then we might start scrapping each other in the middle of all these people. You know, while the ads are either helping or not helping.
You capture Zone C.
I gotta get used to the crap of the guard breaking, man. God damn.
Your team rallied.
But with all the updates this game recently got with Marching Fire and everything, I wanted to come back and check it out and put a decent amount of time into it. And I have, and I've liked it quite a bit. You know, I see the new MK coming out. I don't really care for it. I'll watch it for the story, because I always love the story in these games, in MK games, and you know, the fatalities and stuff. But I don't really want to play it. Same in Injustice. SoCal I wouldn't mind, but I haven't heard too much good things about the new SoCal. I've heard it's just okay. Like, if you played the other SoCals, then you know what you're getting into. Tekken I've heard is pretty good, but again, you know, it's just more Tekken. Which I've had a fairly decent amount of. So I love For Honor. I just love For Honor. And I hope there's a For Honor 2 or like, you know, an update or something. That's what happens when you grab someone and they fucking it. This is how you know I suck ass. So anyways,
Your team is breaking.
if I had to give this game a number, I wouldn't give it a 10. There are some things that's lacking.
You lost Zone C.
In terms of connections, in terms of like, you know, a bit of the UI, in terms of balancing. The graphics could be a tiny bit better, but I'm not really gonna complain. The game runs smooth, it runs nice. I have no issues with it. It looks good, plays good. Honestly, I'd give this game like a 8, maybe 8.5. I'd want to give it a 9, but I know it's not a 9. It's close, but it's not a 9. It has to get a little more polished, and you know, connection needs to be a little bit better. Maybe the UI can take some different things. Out of stamina. So see, when you're out of stamina, you can't really do much. But you can do that, and this, and that. So anyways, you know, all the heroes play very differently. They all clearly have advantages and disadvantages. So you can see at the bottom left, I have my 4 feats that you earn as you play.
You lost Zone A.
I see, because we're at over 1,000, so now when someone dies, they don't respawn. So this is how you win the game. Well, win a 44 Dominion match. Yeah, I wouldn't give this game a 7 because it's not just a good game. I would say it's a great game, but I wouldn't give it a 9 or 10 because it is not the best fighting game there is on the market right now. It didn't rewrite, you know, the way on how to do a campaign mode. It didn't rewrite the way on how to do microtransactions or how to level up your heroes and stuff. But I do have to give it credit where it's due, because they do let you I just killed my own team. They do let you oh wow. They do let you buy the heroes by just playing. They do let you. Jeez, man. This is why, man, Howler, I don't know what to do when someone fucking dodges around me when I do my attacks because they're so slow. But anyways, yeah, I'd say an 8, 8.5. As it is right now, they have a lot more heroes now. The roster's good, the gameplay's good, but not balanced. Shit, I didn't mean to do that. They're doing some things differently with the balancing and how they you know, the balancing the events. They just had a Rabbids event and a lightsaber event for May the 4th. So they're still doing things. And I gotta commend them for that as well. You know what? Now I'll keep it an 8.5. Just a few things that are keeping it back. Just a few little things. But in a fighting game, those few little things do play a decent part. Like if this game looked worse, I wouldn't care. This game already looks very good. Like the detail on the heroes is nuts. And they keep adding, like, look at her. She's like, this chick looks nuts, like her face. It just has that crazy chick look. But you know, that's her style. You know, that's you know, someone sees like, yo, I want to play a crazy ass chick. You know, play a shaman. So graphics good, sound good, fighting's good, not balanced. The microtransactions are fair. The way you buy heroes and stuff is very fair and generous. The game has gotten a ton of support, is still getting support, and will continue to get support. If you want to go find a disc copy right now, I guarantee it'd be pretty cheap. You probably find it for like 10-20 bucks. The deluxe edition, I believe, isn't even full price, and I'm pretty sure this game is always on sale. There's probably a sale right now because Ubisoft is having a sale on the PlayStation Store at least. So I would say, if you're into fighting games, this would be a game to try, for sure. It's even if it's not like, you know, you're into Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter, and those are your you know, your go-to fighter games. I would still say try this game, even if you're not. Just to try it, just to have something different in a fighting game, a different fighting game, not something where, like, you know, you go to most fighting games and you know, all right, I gotta learn my blocks, I gotta learn my combos, and I gotta learn what's the best way to open and you know, land these combos, and that's kind of it when it comes to my skill, and I'm not getting too deep into them because I can't, because again, they don't feel like fights to me. Whereas this game, I get into a fight, it feels like a fight. It feels like a scrap. You know, I feel the blades hitting each other. I feel us clashing. You know, someone comes up to me and we have a good 2-minute fight. I know that was a serious fight because we were both like mind gaming the fuck out of each other. And it's a pretty even fight. Whereas, you know, you come across someone else and they wreck you in 5 seconds. You're like, okay, yeah, that wasn't a fight. That was just me getting murked. So, you know, you have those, and yeah, you have those moments in other fighting games too, but anytime you see it in those fighting games, it's just like one long unanimous combo. And this game is like, no, it wasn't a one unanimous long combo. It's just you just couldn't do shit. He just outsmarted you and was just faster than you or smarter than you or just played better than you. Not just in terms of doing combos, but in terms of like really tricking you into what you think he's gonna do or how they're gonna fight or, you know, shit like that. I know I'm not the best person to explain it because I'm not a, you know, fighter aficionado, but I just can't excuse it. I love For Honor, and I had to do a review / discussion on it. When the game came out, I'd give it like a 6 or 7 because it had way more issues. The roster was a lot smaller, you know, all these things. But as of right now, today in May 2019, or early May 2019, who knows? They might release a patch that fucks up the whole game. Who knows? I think it's a good fighting game, and I think it's a fighting game everyone should at least try. Maybe you won't love it too much. Maybe it won't be your favorite game in the world. But I have a feeling everyone will play this. Anyone who likes fighting games will play this game and be like, wow, I see what they're trying to do. They have some things to, you know, fix and improve on. But I could see this being like one of the best fighting games ever. I can see it. I can see the potential. It's a very fun game. And, you know, it has a little bit of you know, MOBA elements with the ads and stuff running to be and everything. It has actual fight. If you're into fighting games, try this game. If you're not into fighting games, this might make you like a fighting game. If you don't give a shit about, you know, having a different fighting game and you think a 2D fighter as they're done now is the way to do a fighting game, you probably won't like this game. But you never know. But someone like me who's not into fighting games too hard, but likes them, but doesn't like them too much, like, you know, because of how they've been and they haven't really changed anyway, I would say try this game out. It's a really good game. So, that's For Honor. For Honor!